Who among us hasn't heard about the instruction for the destruction of the Catholic Church known as Alta Vendita? Or the plan for world domination described in the Protocols of the Elders of Zion? What these two documents might have in common is the nationality of their authors. Not to say too loudly, but there is one major difference between them, between those documents. While many claim the protocols are pure fiction, the 19th century document, the permanent instruction of Alta Vendita, is very real. Laudetur Jesus Christus, Christ is King. My name is Maciej Świeżyński and this is another episode touching very delicate matter concerning Catholicism and its enemies, Freemasonry and infiltration of the Church. Don't forget to subscribe, leave a comment and like the video. That will help me a lot. And for those who want to know more about Latin Mass and traditional Catholicism, you can watch my documentary that pops right now on the screen. Sometime before 1859, most likely during the pontificate of Pope Gregory the 16th, the Catholic Church got its hands on a secret document from a high-ranking member of the Italian Carbonari, Permanent Instruction of Alta Vendita. This document alone laid out a detailed plan to take over the papacy. The content was so shocking that Pius IX had Jacques Chrétien-July publish the entire text. He also issued the Syllabus Errorum, condemning 80 major offenses of Freemasonry and the Carbonari. His successor, Pope Leon XIII, picked up the fight too, publishing the encyclical Humanum Genus in 1884, also targeting Freemasonry. Let's go back to 15th, 17th and the Protestant Revolution. Martin Luther's revolution left a spiritual emptiness void in Europe. When the Protestant movement lost the steam, the power, a new enlightened order emerged, built on the slogan of liberty, equality and fraternity. This movement was a foundation of what happened next. 200 years later, in 1717, suddenly a new organized religion appears in Europe. Secret societies that we now know as Freemasonry. The oldest Masonic brotherhoods trace their roots back to medieval guilds of stonemasons, which during the Reformation transformed into subversive secret societies obsessed with occult rituals and Gnostic philosophy. Masonic strategy was simple: from secret societies to overthrow the Catholic world order and replace it with a new order, where all religions are the path to God. Freemasonry denies Christ, rejects the concept of sin, and sees no need for Jesus' resurrection or the sacraments. Human nature alone, they claim, is completely enough. Freemasonry flourished in Protestant countries like Scotland, England, Germany, and of course the United States, particularly in the Protestant South, of course. For 2 centuries, these secret societies tried to destroy the Church, the Catholic Church. But when they failed, they switched to Plan B, infiltration. And that's exactly what the Italian Carbonari and the permanent instruction of Alta Vendita is all about. The Italian Carbonari used to meet in secret lodges called Vendita. It means shops in Italian. Their main lodge was the Alta Vendita, the high shop, and this document laid out their core strategy. The author? He went by the name, fake name of course, Piccolo Tigre, Little Tiger. His plan? To corrupt and seduce young people by undermining family values, publishing immoral literature, and taking over schools, colleges, and seminaries. And the final step? Corrupting the clergy itself. The document states, with time we will corrupt the youth by breaking down families, spreading immoral books and poetry, and infiltrating higher education, high schools and seminaries. The final goal will be to seduce and corrupt the clergy. It is happening right now. Can you see it? These words hit hard when you look at what's happening with the Church today. But there is more. In 1832, Pope Gregory XVI issued the encyclical Mirari Vos, condemning liberalism and religious indifferentism. He warned the Catholics about these dangerous ideas that today aren't just tolerated, but openly promoted and proclaimed from within the church. If that's not the proof that the smoke of Satan has entered the temple of God, then what is? Pope Pius IX followed up in 1850 with the Syllabus Errorum, once again calling out Freemasonry and the Carbonari, warning young people, especially priests, about the dangers they posed. He condemned pantheism, naturalism, indifferentism, religious tolerance, socialism, and communism and liberalism, you name it. Wait, don't we find it proclaimed by some Catholic hierarchy today? But the Pope's authority was weakening, and his encyclicals didn't have the impact he hoped for. The Papal States were over, making Pius IX the last Pope king in history. Some decades later, Pope Leo XIII experiences some terrifying things that shake him very much, shake him to the core. Do not forget to subscribe and leave a comment. You will help me a lot. Thank you very much. It was October 13th, 1884. After the Mass in his private chapel, the Pope fell into a brief trance. During that time, he overheard a chilling conversation between Christ and Satan at the tabernacle. When he snapped out of it, he rushed to his desk and immediately wrote the prayer to Saint Michael the Archangel, ordering priests to say it after every Mass. Unfortunately, just like the exorcism prayer during baptism, this powerful prayer has now been abandoned and forgotten by the modern church. Few only say this prayer after the Mass. After all these dramatic events, the Alta Vendita document resurfaced in the late 19th century when an Irish priest, Monsignor George Francis Dillon, exposed the Masonic sect of Satan in his book. He made it clear, while the church will ultimately win, Freemasonry aims to take as many souls down with it as possible. The goal of Freemasonry isn't to destroy the church anymore. It is to remodel it from within, transforming it into a tool for renewal, progress, and enlightenment. And guess what? Pope Pius X saw it coming. In the early 20th century, he warned that the church's enemy weren't outside. It was those inside who posed the biggest threat. He fought modernist heresy fiercely, introducing the oath against modernism that all priests during ordination would say by issuing the encyclical Pascendi Domini Gregis and starting a counter-reformation. There was a hope. But just a few years after Pius X passed away, the Masons got bolder. They even marched publicly through Rome, openly proclaiming their agenda. Witnessing this, a young Polish monk, Maximilian Kolbe, felt called out to fight back. With the approval of his superiors, and just 3 days after Our Lady's apparition at Fatima, he founded Militia Immaculata, the Knights of the Immaculata, in 1917. Moving into 20th century after First Vatican Council, Pope Pius XI wanted to call a new council a Second Vatican Council, but he was advised not to do so because it was too risky. Too risky, you say? The enemies of the church were already inside, and the council, the Vatican Council II, could have go the wrong way. The rest is history. If you are interested in the book written by Bishop George F. Dillon's Freemasonry, Unmasked, the Battle of the Antichrist Against the Church and Christian Civilization, you can find the link in the description of this episode. It's a really fantastic book. It's not so thick, but it's full of good, really good content. So I really, truly recommend it to you. Once again, if you like this video, if you like what I'm doing here, please subscribe to my channel, leave a comment, and like my video, like this episode. Christ is King. God bless you.